Congressman Gozer, great to have you back on the show again.
Oh, thanks, Jenny. It's always a pleasure to be on NRA News.
You have a copy of the draft citation Congressman Ice has put together, laying out a long list of contempt charges against Attorney General Eric Holder. Give us your take on the highlights from that document.
Well, I think it comes back from just the oversight of the Attorney General. We've outlaid these in countless asked for documents, all the way from Dennis Burke to Lanny Brewer, to the ATF agents, to the cover-ups, to the lying to Senator Grassley in the letter in February 4th. Not having responsible parties put on administrative leave. The list is endless, and so I think this is just part of the culmination of what we actually have here, and particularly when actually some of the people that were originally being asked for in this process were actually on the payroll for the Department of Justice from before they even started. So it just this is just outrageous to me, Jenny.
Mm-hmm. And again, you look at it. How many times, and I know we watched you during those hearings, how many times did you ask him in how many different ways who authorized this, and he wouldn't answer it?
He wouldn't absolutely answer it and would not hold people accountable, and that's what's wrong with the Department of Justice. We now see how despondent they are and how out of whack they are, from all the different instances, particularly, how they argued cases, at the Supreme Court, to what they've had from CIA operatives in Latin America. I mean, this is actually foolish. And, today, Congressman Issa, came forward and started talking about it, and immediately they said that they weren't going to give anything up. So, as far as I'm concerned, Jenny, what we ought to be asking for is to proceed right now with contempt charges as soon as we can, ASAP.
And I think you hit it right on the head there because, I was seeing what the Justice Department was saying about all this. They said, hey, we've complied with Congress. Holder has been up there at least 7 times. So I think you're right. What else are they going to do? They haven't given you the documents they want. They haven't let you interview many of the people you want to interview. Other people have taken the fifth. So what other steps do you have?
Well, it's absolutely. In fact, if you go back to our last hearing with Mr. Holder, he claimed in one of the first questions that was asked about inline attorneys and stuff like that, and said, oh, no, I'm only going to allow those individuals to come forward as previous administrations, so that's not been done. And then when he was given the facts that other administrations had done that, then he was forced into a scenario that, he was caught with his pants down. It's interesting that the Attorney General tries to release and try to confuse the audience when he knows darn right what's going on and tries to muddle the facts, Jenny.
Yeah, from what I understand, too, you're going to lead a special order on the floor next week. Tell us about what that's all about.
What we want to do is a special orders is an hour of time that we'll have next Wednesday, I believe, in which members will start to talk about all the different aggravations from the inception of this project. All the things that went awry, from the death of Agent Terry to the death of over 300 Mexican citizens. It's going to go through the whole parade, and having individuals that are knowledgeable and that are part of this aspect to tell it in their own words and bring it to a storybook to the American people. So we want the American people, all our good NRA fans that are listening out there now, to tune in and have a story hour about how wrong this Attorney General is, the Department of Justice, and how wrong this plight on Fast and Furious actually was.
And you have Congressman Elijah Cummings saying, hey, this is all about a political witch hunt. Do you think you have the support of House Speaker Congressman Boehner?
Oh, I'm sure we do. The thing that I'm appalled about, Jenny, is where is the Hispanic caucus on this? Where's the outrage for the carnage of people that have been killed on that side of the border as well as here? Plus, where is the outrage where we still don't know where the majority of these over 1,000 guns are, and we out here in the Southwest, particularly Arizona, are at highest at risk, and we were used as collateral. Where is that, the cry? Where is the ranking member, Elijah Cummings, talking about that aspect? It's political theater for him trying to cover up for the Attorney General who's incompetent.
And really, I think you're right, too. The bottom line in all of this, we have to remember that Eric Holder and the Department of Justice are preventing the Terry family and the American people from getting the truth. And if they had come out from the start and just, said, hey, let's work together on this, you wouldn't be, would you, where you are right now?
Absolutely. And when you start looking at all the documentation, when you go back, Jenny and I always come back to the timeline. You go to April of 2009 in Mexico City, the Attorney General gives a speech in talking about new aggressive gun-running campaigns that he's working with Secretary of Homeland Security Napolitano. He is one word from indicting himself within that framework of a speech. And when you see the president come back a week later to an affidavit of support for that, and then misquote actually lies about the number of guns confiscated at crime scenes to try to get affirmation to that where Holder's going with this process, I got to tell you, it stinks, it smells, and you know what? If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And I know that the Attorney General is that duck. He had something to do with this, and that's what the problem is.
And I know you were telling us the other day you're in Arizona and you're hearing from the people out there, we want the truth, and we want it now, and we want accountability. That's what you continue to hear.
Absolutely. Everybody, that we talk about it, saying when is the time? They're delaying, they're covering it up, and that's exactly right. This bureaucracy, this Attorney General has no more prestige than anybody else and should be held accountable the same way. And I think when you start looking at the basic facts of this, like Congressman Issa said this morning, you got to be kidding me. When you already have somebody lying and you're going to dispel that you're not turning over documents, nor those attorneys that were involved down this process, that's just outside lunacy. And that doesn't follow the predication of what the formalities of law were established in this country by.
Congressman, so the draft's been given to the committee. What happens next?
Well, I know that we're trying to lend our voice, but we've said in our press releases, we want to start it right now. We got our answer from the Attorney General of the Department of Justice. Let's start the proceedings, and I would love to see it ASAP. Everybody out here in Arizona is in full bore. Let's get going. Let's take this on. It's not the first time that we've had to take on this administration and this Department of Justice. And you know what? We're happy to oblige them and make sure that they understand that when you don't follow the principles of law, that you're going to be ruled accordingly by it.